Let's get into another episode of the 2019-2020 iPhone rumors. Let's roll. What is up, party people? Today is May 25th and I'm here to give you the latest and greatest on all the iPhone 2019-2020 rumors, and this time we're getting them from the Barclays analyst, which I don't even know that company, to be honest, and the person is Blaine Curtis, who I still don't even know. And this guy, Blaine Curtis, went to all the different manufacturers in the supply chain for the iPhone, and this is what he kind of came to a conclusion about. Number one, the 2019 iPhone models, all of them aren't going to have 3D touch. And honestly, this isn't too surprising since Apple already went away with the 3D touch in the iPhone XR model, and this was kind of like an experimental, and since no one complained about it at all, and honestly even in my iPhone X I don't use 3D touch that often except for maybe like the front facing camera. As soon as you tap to wake the display, that's the only time I really use 3D touch and kind of like popping into pictures, but this could all be replaced with taptic feedback and just holding on to the display for a longer time. And number two, Blaine Curtis gathered that in early 2020, we've kind of already heard this rumor, but Apple is going to release a cheaper iPhone kind of to target the Indian Asian market, but with cheaper iPhone 8 internals and kind of like a cheap external design, which is kind of like the opposite, which we've kind of heard over these past few weeks, which has been an updated internal such as the A13 Bionic chip to get it to the fastest iPhone possible for like, let's say $400, and you're going to sacrifice on wireless charging and maybe the camera. But this rumor is kind of like the opposite. You're going to have those iPhone 8 internals, you're going to have a slightly better outside. Which one do you prefer? Because that's actually a good question. Do you want better internals or better externals, like wireless charging or an A13 Bionic chip? And the third conclusion is kind of glumped up all to one for the 2020, and that's that the 2020 iPhone models are of course going to have that 5G support, which is not surprising since that Qualcomm Apple feud has officially ended, and now Qualcomm is going to allow their modems inside all of the 2020 iPhones. And also all the 2020 iPhones are going to have 3D sensing cameras, and we've already kind of seen this in, let's say, the Samsung S10 5G, but you know that phone costs like $1,300, so maybe Apple's going to bring down this 3D sensing to maybe like $800 and something like the iPhone 12R. But man, that is a weird name, iPhone 12R. And the last Blaine Curtis tidbit is still clumped together with all these 2020 iPhone rumors, but this one is for sure a head turner, and the one where all the news outlets were all like sounding their alarms, because this one was kind of shell-shocking and was really just surprising and came out of nowhere. And this was the fact that Blaine Curtis is supposedly reporting that the 2020 iPhones, every single model, is going to come with full screen Touch ID via like some type of acoustic fingerprint technology, which we never heard of. And we have already seen phones such as like the OnePlus 7 Pro kind of expand the in-display fingerprint scanner, and that's kind of possible just by adding more display sensors. But like to the whole display, that's gonna take a lot of innovation, and it's kind of weird considering for the past 3 years Apple's been like, I'm not even gonna touch ID at all. I mean, get it? I'm not gonna touch. That's just a little pun. But they haven't even gone to like the Touch ID department at all, and kind of like put any investment into that. And all of a sudden, like, ooh, let's develop this full screen Touch ID, even though our Face ID is kind of like very, very, very good. And getting to what was possibly the most popular option among the 2018 models, not only because of its features, but 100% because of the $250 price reduction. That's the R model, or I like to call it the rainbow model, because it comes in like every single color possible, except for purple and green, and now that's going to be added to the 2019 iPhone 11R. Who would have predicted that name? But that's going to replace blue and yellow, and I'm going to kind of say bye to those colors. I mean, I like them, but purple and green are kind of cool. I mean, who doesn't want that Thanos color? And also, I don't think this matters at all because like 99.9% of consumers who get the iPhone 11R, they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, my phone got an update in RAM, and they're not really going to see a spec improvement at all. But supposedly the iPhone 11R is finally going to get 4 gigabytes of RAM. But I just want to point out there that RAM isn't that important with the great RAM management found in iOS. Unlike Android, which we've seen with those Google Pixel 3 and 2 and 1 RAM issues, they only have 4 gigabytes of RAM and they're struggling 6 months in to you having them. And if you're not really caught up with all this world trade relations, well, if you're kind of familiar, Donald Trump has been pushing for the United States to be self-reliant in their economy, and one kind of step into that is to kind of break ties with the Chinese trade markets, and therefore Donald Trump is imposing his will and kind of putting an increase on Chinese tariffs or Chinese taxes on trade, and that means supposedly from some analysts that all 2019 iPhone models are going to increase in price by around 13%, but I honestly really don't see that happening, because that would mean the iPhone XR to the 11R would go from $750 to $850, and also the $1,000 model will kind of go above like $1,100, and honestly really don't see that because there's already these mountains of prices for these iPhones, and that's going to take a huge investment, and it's also going to take a 13% more of an investment on top of that already a mountain of an investment of investing $1,000 into a simple phone. So I don't think that's going to happen, but anyways, these Chinese tariffs are going to affect your price on any goods here in America. But that is all we have today. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow for the latest and greatest. Now let me know in the comment section below of what you think of a full display Touch ID sensor after we've already gotten this pretty cool Face ID tech over these past few years and these years to come. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
3, 2, 1.